welcome to the Daily Juice. I'm your host, Shardene Blake, and this is your pep talk before you start your day. And today I want to talk about consistency, staying consistent, keeping on track with something that you might have told yourself you were going to do in a moment of inspiration, in a moment of motivation, and then when it comes down to it, it's really difficult to get that inspiration, that motivation back. And so consistency is something that's going to lead you to where you want to be. Consistency is going to take you closer to your goals. Consistency is the thing that helps you build something. So, for example, being consistent with Daily Juice is building trust with my audience, with you, that I'm showing up every morning with this pep talk for you. I'm being consistent with that. Being consistent with, for example, if you were writing a book and you said, right, every day I'm going to sit down and I'm going to bang out 3 pages of a book, or 1 page of a book, or 10 lines of a book. If you stay consistent with that, you are eventually going to have a book. But if you say, right, I'm going to sit down today and write 10 pages of my book, and then that was such an effort or such a slog, or the next day I can't possibly write 10 pages of that again, or that was so much, I just need a week away from the book. And then you forget about it for 3 months, and then you're like, oh yeah, that book, and then you sit down again and do like another 10 pages. It's going to take you a lot longer than if you just sat down every day and said, right, I'm going to write a page or half a page. Because sometimes just taking it that little bit slower but being consistent can get you somewhere faster. So you decide on the action you want to take to be consistent, and you lock that in and you say, this is what I'm going to do. And then the next day you wake up, and maybe that day you're still full of inspiration and motivation, and you do the thing, and the following day you might still have some left and you do the thing, and then after that it kind of like wanes off and you don't want to do it. So here's a couple of tips that you can try. Think about why you want to be consistent with something. It might be something that you don't really enjoy. So it might be like you want to go to the gym consistently, but you don't really enjoy it that much, or it takes you a while to get into the workout before you think, actually, this is fun, I like this now. Think about why you want to do something. If you can hone in on your why and have a powerful emotional reaction to that why, it's so inspiring and so motivating. You're more likely to want to go and do that thing. So really think about what you want your future to look like, or what you want your future self to look like. Who do you want your future self to be? I always talk about loving yourself, accepting yourself, respecting yourself right now exactly as you are. And you can do that and also think, I love myself right now, but I really, really want my future self to be fitter or healthier or stronger, or be an author, or have my own business. Like, that is an okay way. That's a great way to think about yourself, actually, more than okay. So what you need to do is think, but why do I want those things? I want to start my own business so I have the flexibility and freedom to work when I want to work, or I want to be the person who create jobs for my local community, or I'm just really passionate about this thing and I don't see any other person doing it, and I want to be that person to put it out into the world. So whatever your why is, really think about why you want to do it and tap into that emotional reaction in yourself. And then when it comes to doing the thing that you need to be doing consistently to get to where it is that you want to go, then really tap into your why. So if you get up and think, oh, I just can't be bothered to go to the gym, but then think, but why? Why do I want this? What do I want for my future self? How is my future self going to feel? Then that can give you the inspiration and motivation to get yourself up out of bed and to the gym. I always say, like, I want to be the 80-year-old who's still doing yoga. I want to be the 80-year-old who's like flexible. But if at my age now, in my 30s, I'm not doing that, then do I think I'm just going to wake up at like 79 and then get into yoga and stretch, and then by 80 I'm going to be like this master at it? Chances are, if I get to 79 and I haven't done any yoga at all, I'm probably not going to take it up. So I have to think now, like, what do I want to be in the future in order to go and do that? right now, today. So just think about what it is that you want, where you want to go, what your future self is, and how much your future self is going to thank you for being consistent now and taking action. And don't put too much pressure on yourself to make that action perfect. To make that action, sometimes it's easy to start something and think, you know what, I'm not any good at this, so I'm just going to give up. But of course you're not any good at it when you first start something, because you have to practice it, you have to build neural pathways in your brain, they have to get bigger and stronger in order for you to get better at it. And whenever this happens to me and I think, right, I've done something and it's not that good, maybe I should just give up. But it's something that I really want to do and something that's really going to contribute to the future that I want to create for myself. I always remind myself that when I was younger, I played flute and I played violin, and I taught myself to play a little bit of piano. But when I first picked up a flute, I could barely make a noise. Like when I blew into it, hardly anything came out, and I had to practice every day. I had to practice scales. I practiced the breath work, and with violin as well, I had to practice all of that to be able to be good at it, to be able to pass grades, be able to progress. So if I just picked that flute up on day one when I was about, I don't know, 8 or something, and couldn't really blow it very well and then just put it down and never picked it up again, then no, I wouldn't be able to play it. But the fact that week in, week out, I practiced and practiced, even when I probably sounded horrendous and my parents thought, oh my God, what's she doing now? This is awful. Then, you know, I wouldn't be able to play flute now. And I always think about that when I start something new. Say if I make a video and I think, oh, that video wasn't very good. I just think, well, yeah, you weren't very good at a lot of things. Just keep going. And there's a great little story in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is a great book to read if you want to create new habits and be consistent. Highly recommend it. But he talks about a photography class where at a college in America where the professor split the class into 2 halves. One half was the quantity half and the other was the quality half. So to one half of the class he just said, take as many photos as you can, because you're going to be graded on how many photos you take. Good or bad, it's all about how many photos you take. And the other half of the class, he said, right, you're going to be graded on the quality of one photo that you take. And so by the end of the term, the half of the class that were the quantity half and they'd taken more photos had better photos. Even not all of them were great, but they had the photo that was way better than the one photo that the quality half of the class took. So that speaks to me and says, do you know what, just go for it. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And just because you do something today and it isn't great, with consistency, there's nothing to say you're not going to be amazing at this within a year, within 5 years, within 10 years. Even within a month, if you just do something every single day for a month, you are 100% going to be better at it at the end of the month than when you started. So if there's something you want to stay consistent with and you feel demotivated or you're not very good at it or you just feel like you haven't got the energy, just think, how good am I going to be at this if I stick with it and I stay consistent? I'm going to be an expert at this eventually, because as long as you're moving in that direction, you're going to get there. If you keep walking in a direction, you're going to get somewhere. No matter how slow you go, if you keep going, you're going to get there. And I want you to remember that today. Stay consistent. And don't worry if 1, you don't feel that motivated to do it, and 2, it isn't that good. You can tap into the power within you to motivate and inspire yourself. Feel those emotions of having what it is that you want, your future self. And remember, like, no matter what, if you can keep going, you're going to be better. Right, guys, have the most amazing day, and I will see you so soon for more Daily Juice. Bye. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe and turn on your notifications.